Alright, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Jericho Falls. I'm here with my man Saint. We're live from Rosenberg, Texas right now, about to get into the scriptures concerning the times that we're in. First off, I want to give all praises due to the Most High, Ahaya according to the name given in Exodus, the 3rd chapter, 13 through 15. We do not call on that name Jehovah. I do not call on that name, for that is the name given for the God or Lord of destruction, ruin, and chaos. Also, the name given in the scriptures for the name Jesus will be a surprise to many of you, but unfortunately, that is not a problem of mine. That is a concern of those who choose to continue to call on those names against what the scriptures say in Exodus, the 20th chapter, as far as the 10 Commandments are concerned, with the taking of his name in vain. Now, we will get into those particular truths concerning the name later on, but for right now, what the people really need to know is, why is California having such issues? We know that the scripture said that there shall be wars, rumors of wars, and earthquakes in various places. Now, what has not been done is the breaking down of such words. For example, wars, rumors of wars, and earthquakes in various places. You're going to need some key items in order to find out what these words mean. Now, if you look here, my man Saint is holding up the strongest concordance. And the reason this book is important is because this is going to be your side-by-side tool with the scriptures in regards to how you study. You can't get what you need to get from out of the scriptures if you don't study to show yourself approved, according to 2 Timothy, I believe it's 2 and 15 through 16. Study to show yourself approved unto God as a workman that need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. You got to rightly divide it, but you need the study materials in order to do it. Now, the authors originally is James Strong. You can get this from Mardell's. You can get this from any particular Christian bookstore where a concordance is found. The Zondervan Publishing House, of course, is on there. That's a good company that you would want to be mindful of as far as Bible history is concerned. Well, when I say good, I mean as far as a place to go where there would be a massive amount of Bible knowledge for you to obtain. You understand what I'm saying? And the understanding of Kohlenberger Swanson is going to be key as well, because Kohlenberger is going to be involved in the strongest concordance for the NIV. This is what this one is. This is for the this one is for the King James version. There's also an NIV version for the strongest strongs. Now, without further ado, of course, you're going to need your King James Bible. And what's good about the scriptures is that you just can't go wrong with it. I mean, this is the record, the actual true record of our Father, the Creator, being the creator of all heaven and earth. And this book, and with this study tool right here, you will start to uncover a lot of the things that are going on that a lot of your pastors, preachers, and teachers are not able to tell you, just because they're under a certain, again, slavery. There will be those of us that should begin to wake up and realize this and start to go and get people out and seal up the breaches, as the scriptures say. So what we're going to do, we're going to go into Matthew the 24th chapter to look at certain words pertaining to the end times. Matthew the 24th chapter. We're going to go Matthew 24. Now, of course, if you go to church, you've heard quite often Matthew 24 being spoken.
Verse.
We're going to go Matthew 24. It's 24 verse 6. He says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Now, that word sorrow is going to be key, because there was something spoken a long time ago, a while back, in regards to that sorrow. That's key, so that you'll know what he means pertaining to the beginning of sorrows. Now, the key words that we want to look up here are wars, rumors of wars, and earthquakes in various places. The reason these words are important is because there are some hidden meaning behind these words. Some words that we really need to break down. So since we're in the New Testament, we're going to go to the Greek portion of the Strong's Concordance. Now, again, this is what you're going to need to be able to follow along with this. In this video, as we go along, we're going to make it interactive. As we go along here, we're going to re-edit this to start inserting certain interactive photos and visual effects to give you a more clear depth understanding. We're talking about going from standard depth to high definition now. In the back here, you're going to find that there is a concordance for the Hebrew as well. And I know you couldn't see that, but nevertheless, I thought slapping it would give it an extra effect. You also going to have the Greek as well. So we're going to stick to the New Testament and find out exactly what it is in the Greek. And I'm sorry if you see my eyes looking off in a totally different direction. It's hard to, when I look back up, to squint into that little bit of camera phone. You understand? Look, we going from humble beginnings here. We got wars and rumors of war. So we're going to find what that word war means in the Greek. I tell you one thing, man. I admire what them brothers be doing on them late night TV shows. You know what I'm saying? They have to make sure that they focus into that camera all the way back there with that little cue card up underneath that mug. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure you keep your eyes on the people. All right, we're gonna go and look up wars. So here, if you go into the concordance, the exhaustive concordance portion, where you're gonna be looking for just the words right now. You're not gonna be looking for the definitions. You're gonna look for the word, because it's there where you will see if the scripture lines up with what it is that you're seeking. So for the word wars, we're going to look for Matthew 24:6. And here you have it, where it says, and ye shall hear of, and it has a W, and then it says, and rumors of. Next to it, you're going to have the number 4171. So we're going to go into that particular portion of the Greek lexicon. You're going to scroll all the way to the back, and that's 4171, it says in the Greek, because we're in the New Testament. Again, with the Old Testament, you're going to be in the Hebrew. With the New Testament, you will be in the Greek. 4171. 41. No. So you're in the topical Bible reference. You want to go to the lexicon, which will be. Here we go. All right. See, now you're in the Greek. 3747. Keep going till you get to 4171. All right, in the Greek, number 4171, you got polemos. Is that what you show?
Yes, sir.
Polemos, which means war, battle, fight, wars, battle. Of course, that's simple. Make war. So there are going to be things that happen that's going to be making war during this time of these wars, and then rumors of wars. But the reason why you got to pay attention to these rumors of wars is because these wars is going to come in a place where it's not normally expected. You see what I'm saying? That's the key thing that you have to pay attention to. When he's talking about these things, wars and rumors of wars, this is going to come in a place where such things are not expected to be. You have to know that the time in which he was talking about, it was during the time in which the trouble would come upon the land where his people would be, where his kingdom would be. And with knowing how he told Solomon that it's never been meant that for him to dwell in a place made with man's hands, he's always wanted to dwell in the place that he made, which is his people. Then the movement of Jerusalem has always been wherever his people have been. It's never been fixed in one place. For you to fall into the deception of listening to them saying, look to the east, then you're going to fall right back into their pagan idolatry. You got to know that he tells us that he dwells in the sides of the north. But yet and still, that's not for you to look and say, I'm going to put the Most High in a fixed place. That's not it. He can go wherever he wants to go. But when you're talking about the highest points of the world, or the highest of the highest points, then just by default, naturally, you would look in the north, because the north is going to be pointing upward. With looking at it on a particular cardinal instrument for direction. Wars, battle, fight, wars, make war. That's simple. Let's go to the word for rumors. What's going on, brother?
We gotta go back and look at that.
You want to go back to the dictionary portion. And I'm going along with my brother here because I don't want to make it seem as if I'm just this advanced individual. I'm going to go through it step by step with him so that we'll be able to show people that this is how we're to progress. As iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another. All right, so in the Greek, we're going to go to 189. If you can grab it there. Rumors, that's the one. With Matthew 24:6, that's the verse we was just seeing. So Matthew 24:6, that very same scripture we just read, it's saying 189 in the Greek. So you go to 189 in the Greek. I'll wait for you. Let me know when you get there.
Greek.
All right, and then you're gonna go over to number 189.
Got some ways to go, huh? I see, bro.
Yeah, you're gonna stay in the Greek. There you go. All right, and you maybe just about a page or so off. 189, look over here. Probably gonna be down there towards the bottom.
Gotcha.
All right, so 189, we got the word Ako. Ako. I got for 189 AKOE. Where you at?
198. Just like you.
189. There you go. Ako. AKOE, which says act of hearing what is heard. Hearing, ears, fame, report. Rumors and audience, something preached. So when you hear of wars, rumors of wars, basically when you hear of fightings, breaking out of fighting and hearing of those breakings out and fightings, and then also earthquakes in various places, he said don't be troubled. But one key thing that you're going to need to look at for these particular words is that one in the Greek, that doesn't suffice. We're going to need to find out also what it means in the Hebrew. So we're going to go and take a look at that. It also gave a reference number for that word rumors in the Hebrew. Now when you jump up to the portion of the Hebrew, go back to that where you kept that place.
Yeah. I got you. I understand.
Go back to your dictionary portion.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
All right.
All right. All right, I'm going to keep moving along here while he's getting that because I don't want to lose you guys. In the Hebrew, you're going to go to reference number 8052 for that word rumors.
Got it. 8052.
Uh-huh.
In the Hebrew.
Same thing. 8052 says message, rumor, or report, but it gives you another reference number, 8085. Let's go there.
8085, sama, which means to summon or call together, to proclaim, to summon, make, hear, or from the base meaning of hearing come the extensions of understanding and obedience. Basically, when you hear of wars and people starting to come out and tell you the reasons why these wars is taking place and telling you why these earthquakes is happening, don't be troubled. We just coming to tell you the reason why these things is taking place so that you can make ready. This is what he's telling you in reference number 8085. He says to hear, listen, obey, to be heard, to summon, call together, to proclaim, summon, and make hear. To make somebody hear. To make somebody hear what? Why this stuff is going on. You're going to hear of these wars and fightings going on, and people going to start telling you why they happening. So the fighting and things that's going on right now, a lot of it is happening just to confuse you, to keep you from looking at what's really happening where you are. Particularly the earthquakes, because we're going to break that word down. Let's go to the Greek for that word earthquake. Matthew 24:7, it says earthquakes, which is in that very scripture that says, and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. In the Greek, you're going to have reference number 4578. Now I'm letting him run with it now. He's getting that feel of going through them pages. He's going to have to keep up with me. But nevertheless, this is what we're talking about. Find your brother out there somewhere. If you got some extra funds or something to get your concordance, something like that, and you done talk to a brother about the scriptures, get something like this, so that he would then be able to join in with you, and he would be able to see that you're not just telling him something and expecting him to just follow without seeing it for himself. You get what I'm saying? We're going to continue on in order, line upon line, precept upon precept.
45.
That earthquakes, we have 4578 in the Greek.
Gotcha.
All right, so 4578.
Earthquake, storm, earthquakes, tempest.
That says earthquakes or storms. That's like he said, and then it gives you reference number 4579 that says to cause to shake, to be shaken, stirred up, to cause to shake. Now, that right there should be alarming, because if any of you have been doing any research out there, they have actual weaponry that can cause the earth to shake out there. And we'll get into that later, but I'll just throw the name of it out there so that you can go online and take a look at it for yourself. It's called HAARP, Highly Active Auroral Research Program. That's HAARP. And this weapon, just a brief synopsis of it, or a brief understanding of what it is, it's a landscaping of acreage, an acreage worth of antennas in Alaska that shoots about 1 billion watts of energy into the ionosphere. I mean, it's been all over the internet for years. And it does on our side of the planet to the ionosphere what the sun does on the other side, which is regulate weather. Now, just by default, if they messing with that on our side while the sun is doing it on their side, it will cause some adverse reactions. And according to the research, when they use that weapon, it sends vibrations so heavy back to the earth off of that reflection that it causes hard and very heavy vibrations. So much so to the point to where if they were to aim it and bend it over water, it would cause tsunamis. But we'll get into that later. Right now, we're just wanting people to focus on what's going on in California and what's getting ready to happen centered around that Yellowstone National Volcano, or that national park area over there, and why people need to go ahead and start making their way on out of there, because before you know it, man, that thing is going to open up, and it's not going to be anything anybody can do to preserve themselves and escape from that. So my man, he gotta keep leaving because he keeps getting a call from one of his lady friends. So nevertheless, man, listen, we are dealing with one another in love here. We just gonna keep it moving. And with knowing what it says in the scriptures about what that word means, that it's basically to cause to shake. And knowing that they actually have the weaponry out there to do that, that's a scary thing. But that still doesn't suffice. We just dealt with it in the Greek. Let's go back to the Hebrew. In the Hebrew, we're going to go to 7494. It says commotion, rattling, earthquake. This can mean a quaking motion and the sounds from a quaking motion. By extension, any clamor, discord, or frenzy. 7493 says to shake, quake, tremble, and to be made to quake, to cause to shake, make to tremble. Now, with looking at those particular words and seeing those breakdowns, everyone would say to themselves, well, yeah, that's just normal. That's natural. That's not anything that I need to be concerned with. Well, you got to understand that he's talking about the end times. And in order to get more understanding of the end times, you got to get that voice from a second witness. He tell you from out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, there I am in the midst. So you just got the understanding of what Matthew says was going to happen at the beginning of sorrows. If these are the beginning of sorrows, what then is to come after? Well, for that, we're going to go to Revelation, the 9th chapter. Remember what I was talking to you out there in the front about what's getting ready to come up out the bottom? We're going to go ahead and break that down. And now my brother Saint, he probably getting real crunk about this because I've already explained to him what's getting ready to come. He has a particular advantage over some of you out there that's watching this right now. Because I've already given him a brief understanding of what the Father has revealed from what's coming out the bottom of that pit. We're going to go to Revelation, the 9th chapter. And yes, this is an old tattered Bible. Belongs to my wife, but it's been in her family for many, many years, so I hold on to it since she's held on to it, and I respect the fact that she has. Alright, so Revelation, the 9th chapter, it says, and the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, like the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power as the scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men who have not the seal of God in their foreheads. Now, I want you to understand what this is painting right here. This is telling you that this thing that's getting ready to come up out of the bottom, it has an understanding already set up in it to not hurt anything but men. It has it already written in it to hurt nothing but men. Now, with the further reading of what we're going to uncover here, you're going to see just what it is that's getting ready to take place. And then you're going to go back and you're going to start watching movies, and you're going to start looking and seeing, are you kidding me? Have we really been watching our own destruction this whole entire time? Yes, but we'll get to that in just a moment. We're going to start line upon line, precept upon precept. It tells you that there came out of the smoke locust upon the earth. We're going to break that word down because that's going to be key. Let's find out what that word locust is in the Greek. Right, we jump back to the dictionary, the index portion of the book, and we're going to, like I said, line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. Locust, Revelation, the 9th chapter, the 3rd verse, sends you to reference number 200 in the Greek. We're going to go there. Let's go to the Greek, and we're going to get reference number 200. We're going to see if this is a sufficient definition for what is there. All right. 200 in the Greek says akris, akris, which says locust. In some cultures, distinguished from a grasshopper and used as a food source. Locust. Now that right there that don't suffice, because we've heard locusts flying around in the trees. They little bugs that got a little hard armor on them, and when they fly real hard. If one of them hits you, it feel like somebody threw a rock at you. You see what I'm saying? So we know just by default this is not what the scriptures is talking about. Why? Because if you go further on in the very same chapter of Revelation, going down to the 7th verse, it gives you the shapes of the locusts. 9 and 7 will give you the shapes of them. Now, at the very beginning of it, it says the shapes of them were like unto horses. So, right there, that cancels out what you know as a locust. Let's find out in the Hebrew what they are. The Hebrew, according to, we're going to go to Exodus, the reference given for Exodus, and go to 697. In the Hebrew, 697, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to be sufficient, but we're just going to go there just to show you. And it's other reference numbers that the Hebrew give you that the Greek don't. 697 says, locust, mature locust, locust, grasshoppers, grasshopper. Arbeh in the Hebrew, that's the word. Arbeh, A-R-B-E-H. Arbeh. But wait, there's a number there in the brackets with the question mark next to it. 7235. We're going to go there in the Hebrew and find out what that means. 7235. Oh, it's finna get good now, bro. We getting ready to close this particular episode right here. We're going to come back a little bit later. 7235 in the Hebrew.
Man, you fast with this book.
Well, I had to get it warmed up first, man, but we have to keep it moving right along. 72. Exactly. 7235 says Rabba. And it says to increase in number, multiply, grow large, to shoot, archer, to rear offspring, to gain, make numerous.
Cause to increase.
To cause to increase, okay.
Enlarge.
To enlarge. Now, let's look at this. Now, it says to enlarge, to make large. Let's look at some key phrases that was used in the book of Revelations here. The 9th chapter. It says, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. So that tells you that that smoke got certain properties to it that would actually blacken the atmosphere. And it says, and there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth. I'm going to tell you why that's key, why that word smoke actually is a legitimate word to look at. We're going to look at 7235 again. Those references that are listed next to it are key, and there are two particular ones that I'm going to drag out or draw out that's going to be significant for us to know. Let's look at numbers 8635. In that list of references that it has there in the brackets, you're going to find 8635. Let us go there.
Hebrew.
8635 in the Hebrew. The one right next to that reference number is 8636. So we're going to look at those two references in order. 8635 and 8636. 8635, tarbu, which means a group of the same kind, brood. Now, wait a second. We was just looking at the word locust. If we would have left it to just the Greek, we would have never got this far. We would have just been stuck with the fact that it's just grasshoppers coming up out of there. Well, that ain't really nothing to be scared of unless you afraid of getting bit by a million grasshoppers. Yeah, that's a painful way to die. Getting mauled to death by millions and millions and millions upon millions of grasshoppers, nigga. That's a terrible way to die. But that ain't what the Father is telling us right now. He giving us something different. He telling you, listen, you need to pay attention more to what this word is saying so you can stop living in la-la land, man. Because I'm telling you right now, they pulling so much tomfoolery out there. If you don't get your ace in this word, man, you really going to be like he's saying the word as it was in the days of Noah, buying, selling, marrying, and giving away in marriage, even up until a flood came and took them all away. Now, 8635 says it's a brood. Well, if you go online, remember we're going to turn this into an interactive video. Go online and look up that word brood. and research what it says in the Old Germanic concerning that word. It says a horde, or a family of offspring, hatchlings, that which is hatched by heat. This is just with the further breaking down of that word brood. You get the understanding of these are things that are going to be hatched by heat. We just read there's smoke that's going to come up out of the pit like the smoke from a furnace. And locusts going to come out of that pit. Hatchlings hatched by heat. Well, what are they coming up?
Comes from heat.
Exactly. But what are they coming up out of this pit for? I mean, why? Why is a star falling to the earth and then smoke coming up out of a pit and then locusts coming up out of the smoke? That sounds like a sequence of events. Star, pit, locust. Wake up. 8636, the next reference. 8636 saying excessive interest and exorbitant interest. Increase, unjust gain. 8636, Tarbi, that's right, Tarbi or Tarbi, which says excessive interest. And you'll see right there, 8635 and 8636 give you the reference back to 7235 to let you know the two voices. Out of mouth of two or three, let everywhere be established. You just heard two different reference numbers given, point back to 7235. It's legit. You ain't got to ask nobody else if it's 100% true. We're going line upon line, precept upon precept. 8636, excessive interest. We know excessive just means over the top, abundant. But that word exorbitant, that's what interested me more so. No pun intended. I know interest is in there, but we're going to break that down too. Exorbitant, which comes from the old Anglo-French, I believe, ex orbiter. Ex meaning out of, and orbiter means wheel track. So if we go back and review the words that we've just learned here off of Locust, you got 7235, which says to increase in number, multiply, and grow large, to shoot or to rear offspring. Whatever is coming up out of this pit is going to grow large, it's going to multiply, it's going to rear offspring. We already found out that in reference number 8635, it says it's a brood. We know that breaking down that word brood in the Old Germanic gives you hatchlings hatched by heat. We know that then that must mean that they're going to multiply and grow large because the heat is going to activate them. You see that? What have we been doing in the church where we ain't even been breaking down what's getting ready to come? And that word locust, that's key. Because to find out that word brood actually has the word horde in it, now you can put together why Cliffy B and them made Gears of War. Or at least the understanding of why it came forth. They may not know why they made it, but here we are finding out that that's actually scripture. You see why now you shouldn't be getting caught up in wanting to hate somebody or being jealous of someone because of something that they do? You don't know what the Father is trying to show you in life. The whole time you playing Gears of War, you was actually playing Revelation, the 9th chapter. Revelations, the 9th chapter.